Hey everyone, and thanks for watching this video on non-revenue travel or employee travel. With no time to waste, just to start it off, what is non-revenue travel? Non-revenue travel is when an employee of an airline, their spouse, children, parents, nominated partner, or friends fly, in most cases standby, on an airline at a discounted rate. To get it out of the way, do you get to fly for free? No. Do you always get to fly business class? No. So how does it work? When one of the people I previously mentioned wants to travel, they do not simply book a confirmed ticket at the cheapest price. They list themselves as a non-revenue standby passenger on a specific flight. If the flight has open seats to accommodate the passengers, they get to travel. In a majority of cases, that individual will not be the only standby passenger on that flight. So who gets to go first for a seat? Well, every airline has a different policy when it comes to non-revenue travel when it comes to this. In most cases, the priority is given out to the employee with the most company seniority, depending on how long they've worked for the airline. In some, but not all cases, it depends on who checks in first. When flying standby, the people that are traveling care more about their priority status rather than how much they're paying for the ticket. Yes, you might pay X amount for the ticket, but that doesn't mean you're getting a seat. One of the biggest questions about non-revenue travel is how much do you get to pay for these flights? To get it out of the way, the person traveling pays a heavily discounted fare. Me personally, when I log onto my employee travel site, there is a policy I have to agree on every time, and in one of those sentences says, do not disclose the actual ticket price to friends or the public. So heavily discounted is a better term to use. But how the ticket is structured is by a base fare, plus the taxes and fees of the airport you are flying from and flying to. Some airlines, but not all, don't pay the base fare and just pay the taxes and fees. There are different types of non-revenue tickets, ranging from a regular standby ticket to a business class or first class ticket, a high priority ticket, to business travel ticket to conduct business in another city related to the airline, and the list goes on. Every airline is structured differently in price, but yet all somewhat similar when it comes to non-revenue travel. The number one thing when using these tickets is that they are a privilege of working for the specific airline. This means dressing in accordance and standards of the airline and acting with a professional behavior. Otherwise, these travel benefits can be taken away from the employee. Every airline has their own specific dress code and policy when flying. Some are lenient while some are strict. No, this does not mean dressing up in a three-piece suit. In most cases, airlines describe their dress code as smart casual. For a male, that means nice clean shirt, nice pants, and some nice clean shoes. Some airlines prohibit certain pieces of clothing like jeans, sneakers, athletic wear, clothing with large branding, and the list goes on. This is why a few years ago United Airlines denied boarding for a passenger wearing yoga pants. The individual traveling was a friend of an employee and did not meet United's dress code. This gained huge attention and was completely taken out of context.
This one has a lot of people up in arms. Two girls were trying to board a United flight in Denver when the gate agent stopped them, deeming their spandex leggings were inappropriate. United later clarified the girls were traveling on the airline's Pass program, which provides free flights for relatives and friends of United employees. The airline told us it has stricter dress code requirements for these non-revenue passengers because they're considered representatives of United. The restrictions for them: no spandex, miniskirts, midriffs, and attire with holes or tears.
The bottom line when it comes to dress codes, you are representing the airline when you travel. You should dress in good taste. Going down the list of most questions asked, do you get to fly business class? In most cases for each airline, yes. Again, it all depends on the airline and available seats. You can use a business class ticket, but you're subject to being bumped to economy if there's someone that has a higher priority status than you. Or in most cases, someone that bought a full fare ticket or someone with loyalty status will pay for an upgrade on top of their economy ticket. In rare cases, if you use a regular standby ticket for economy and economy class is full, you might get upgraded to business class. Do you get to fly on first class? If your airline has first class on top of a regular business class, depending on their policy, employees get to fly first class. But in most cases, employees do not get this privilege depending on the airline. But then again, business class seats are always getting better and better and are in some cases borderline first class. Do you get to travel on other airlines? Yes. When an employee gets to travel on another airline, they purchase a ticket called a Z fare. In just about every case, if you fly on another airline, your priority status goes down than if you were to fly on your own airline. How a Z-fare works is your airline has an agreement with other airlines. Generally, the list is fairly large. There are some airlines you can fly on and some you cannot. How pricing works is it's calculated by the agreement and the distance. It's segregated into Z low, Z medium, and Z high. Then the distance of the flight. In just about every case, this will cost more than what you paid on your employed airline. In some cases, and depending on the agreement, you can buy a Z business class seat, but then again, the employees of the airline you'll be flying on will bump you. If you want more details on the specific airline, go to flyingz.info, and there they have guidelines on traveling on each airline. What happens if you don't make the flight? You get moved on to the next departing flight. If there are no more flights leaving that day for your intended destination, you have to come back the next day or reroute your trip. Do your friends get to fly? Yes, but every airline is structured different when it comes to this. Some airlines require you to fly with your friends when they travel. Some airlines have nominated partners that can fly alone, but typically they have a lower priority status. And some airlines let your friends travel solo. In most cases, you're allotted to so many buddy passes per year. So how far in advance can you book a standby ticket? Typically, you can book and list yourself standby for a flight right up until check-in closes. Some airlines require 24 hours prior, some 72 hours prior. How can you tell if a flight has open seats or not? Each airline has their own employee travel website where they can book these tickets and view how many seats are available on each flight. When it comes to using Z fares, other airlines do not like to give out the actual number of available seats due to privacy concerns. The best they can give you are just estimates of how full a flight is. My favorite way to counteract this is there's an app available called Staff Traveler that can give you the actual numbers of available seats. It's pretty extensive, so I'll talk about it more on a later video. I think I've covered just about every corner of non-revenue travel. If you have any other questions or if there's anything that I missed, drop a comment, I'll try to get back to you on it. If you liked that video and are interested in more future videos, feel free to subscribe. Thanks again for watching.